Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings today. We are so excited to have you again. So, talking about presidential elections and preparation thus far. Few days ago, Atiku Abubaka was granted interview. Atiku Abubaka is the presidential aspirant of the People Democratic Party. He was granted an interview and he made a lot of statements. One of which was that, unfortunately, Peter Obi's supporters are online, and 90% of Arewas are not online. In other words, they are not educated enough, or maybe they are not enlightened enough, to access the social media and all of that. It didn't go well with Arewas, and they have reacted. For them, they are ready to shock Atiku as they stand behind PeterObi. We're going to be looking at full details of what they have to say and what the reactions of Nigerians are in this regards. And according to the news, angry reactions have continued to trail comments made by the presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party (PDP) Alhaji Atiku Abubakar during a live interview on a Rise TV morning show. The latest coming from the coalition of Arewa Youth for Peace and National Development. Asked to comment on the growing popularity of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi Atiku had written of the prospect of the former Anambra State governor, saying his platform of choice lacked the needed structures across the country to emerge victorious at the 2023 presidential polls. Perhaps to buttress his point, the former vice president drew attention to the performance of the Labour Party during Saturday elections which took place in Osun State in Southwest. On the possibility of Obi making an inroad into the north, as many have observed, Atiku claimed that 90% of northerners are not on social media. In other words, they are not social media compliant. And according to his what he said, I really don't expect the Labour Party to take as many votes from the PDP as people are suggesting. We could have seen it in the latest election in Osun State. What is the performance of the Labour Party? This is a party that doesn't have a governor, doesn't have members of the National Assembly, doesn't have state assembly members, and politics in this country depend on the structures you have at the various level, at the local government level, at the state level, and at the national level. So it is very difficult to expect a miracle to happen simply because Peter Obi is in the Labour Party. After all, they were saying through social media they had more than 1 million votes in Osun State. But how many votes turned for the Labour Party? And then again, mark you are talking about social media. In the North, 90% of our people are not tuned to social media. Reacting to the above interview, the coalition of Arewa Youth for Peace and National Development said the People Democratic Party presidential candidate may be living in a fool's paradise after all, as feelers points to the fact that the presidential bid of Obi is gaining unprecedented mileage. In a statement signed by the national president Haji Mohammed Guadade, the Arewa Youth Coalition also berated Abubakar on his rating of northerners on social media, insisting that the position confirms the fear that the politician may have lost touch with reality. The coalition of Arewa Youth for Peace and National Development hereby declare total support for the presidential bid of Mr. Peter Obi and Ahmed Dati of the Labour Party, and remind those doubting their potentials to emerge victorious at the 2023 election that they may be living in a fool's paradise. It added that Friday's interview on Rise TV shows that the presidential candidate of the opposition PDP, with due respect to him, may not be attuned with current realities and development in the polity. The statement read in full, our attention has been drawn to Friday appearance of the former vice president and the presidential aspirant of the People Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, on an Arise TV morning program wherein he had made some statement which we consider uniform or uninformed, with the greatest respect to the statement. To state start with the People Democratic Presidential aspirant submission that the LP has no structure to galvanize winning votes for its presidential candidate, Mr. PeterObi, flies in the face of prevailing reality. As digital youths in the North, we have since opted to join forces with millions of obedient across the country with a view to bringing a new Nigeria that promises prosperity for all while creating a society of egalitarianism. Again, we make bold to say that contrary to the misinformation about social media status, the people of the North are prominent on social media and all internet platforms. We prefer Peter Obi and Ahmed Dati as the next president and vice president of Nigeria. We will disappoint Atiku and his likes, who deliberately failed to develop the North just to exploit us from the political advantages in 2023. That his insinuation that 90% of Northerners are not on social media is an insult on the sensibility of the North, and these suggest that we are illiterate, as some of his collaborators want us to remain objects of exploitation. We are now not just on all social media platforms, but very learned and well informed to the glory of Allah. We are no longer illiterate like Atiku and some elders in the North wants us to remain. Those were the words of these very strengthened and willing to change youths. And you will not believe some of the reactions that I have followed what they said. Someone here says that is what the northern political elites do. They disenfranchise the ordinary citizen and impoverish them as well, while their own children are studying in London. During elections, they will tell them lies that they are not Northerners and Muslim just to get their vote, after which they abandon them till the next election. The worst is telling them education is haram, while their own children are graduating from Oxford with master's degrees. This must stop, and that's absolutely true. Another person here reacting to it says Atiku and his like still regard Northerners as illiterate and Almajiris to be used at will to achieve the political ambition that they have. Another person here says, any day our northern youth understand the evil of the leaders, Nigerian problem will be 90% solved. I feel that they do understand what is currently happening in the country and they are doing everything within their power to ensure that they bring in the right people. Right now, what needs to happen is invading the northern parts of the country with the truth. That truth must be interpreted in a language that they understand, in Hausa language, in Fufude language, in Kanuri language, whatever language that is prevalent in any environment. They should use it to communicate to them, for let them know that for the fact that you are voting in your brother, for the fact that you are voting in a man who is from your own community, does not mean your life will change. And even if the person will have to give you contract and all of that, it will not change the fact that you will still don't have the freedom of moving from one state to the other, enjoying your farming, enjoying your business, exporting things as they ought to be, and all of that. It will still limit you because these guys do have a mindset, and their mindset is to keep Nigerians under poverty and also darken our minds with lies of religion and all of that. I think it is high time that Nigeria or go out, to correct this anomaly, which has somehow ruled the minds of people for too long. Someone here says Atiku lives in Dubai, so he's not familiar with the development at home. He only visits when he wants to contest election. He would have preferred America, but he has questions to answer there. Another person here says those northern leaders are ones that deliberately made us to be literate so that they can be using us to achieve their selfish ambition. If not, what impact does their leadership brought to us? What have they done to better our situation? They only know themselves and their children. Nothing good for the common man except sorrow they have brought upon us. They have punished us enough. Finally, there is a big shame to him being a VP for 8 years. Beside this, they have been a power for he has been in power for so many years. We are still behind. But during election, they will be deceiving us regionally, religion, and all sorts of biases to ridicule us. And at the end of the day, we become victims of bandit, hunger, sickness, ignorance, which today they are not ashamed of telling the world they walk of their hands, we await them in 2023. The power to liberate the North, guess what, is in the hands of these youths. The power lies with them, and the earlier they wake up to do the needful, the better for them. That's what we like to leave it. What do you think will be the latest surprise that they will be bringing up against the northern aspirant, talking about Haji Atiku Abubaka, as are willing to support PeterObi?